Welcome to the Chronicles Reports. I am your host, Chronicles. Today, we are not just reporting the news. We are documenting a monumental pivot in contemporary history. We are diving deep into a rapid escalation of conflict in the Middle East, a geopolitical shockwave that is currently reshaping the world order before our very eyes. History is often written in decades, but sometimes it is written in hours. Today, we analyze the tactical, cultural, and economic ramifications of what is being called Operation Epic Fury. This is more than a military engagement. It is a transformation of modern politics that will dictate the flow of our daily lives for years to come. As of March 1st, the geopolitical landscape of the Middle East has entered a period of unprecedented volatility. U.S. and Israeli forces have initiated the largest regional concentration of military firepower in a generation. The United States Central Command has codenamed this mission Epic Fury. The scale of this operation is staggering. Within the first 12 hours, Washington reportedly conducted nearly 900 strikes across Iran. Simultaneously, Israeli forces deployed approximately 200 fighter jets, striking 500 individual targets. The strategic division of labor here is precise and professional. American forces are prioritizing the dismantling of Iranian military infrastructure and nuclear facilities. Meanwhile, Israeli operations are laser-focused on leadership targets and missile launch capabilities. We are seeing a quest for total air superiority, with American F-35 stealth jets already engaged in significant air-to-air combat against Iranian IG-29s. We now turn to a historical turning point that few thought they would see in this lifetime: the confirmed death of Supreme Leader Ali Khamenei. Khamenei, 86 years old, had served as the pillar of the Islamic Republic's theological and political structure since 1989. Reports indicate that 30 missiles struck his primary compound. There is a fascinating, if somber, historical detail here. Khamenei was in his office rather than a fortified bunker. This decision was likely influenced by the intersection of the Islamic holy month of Ramadan and the Jewish Shabbat. The strike was a decapitation of the regime's upper echelon. Along with the supreme leader, his son, Maytav, an influential cleric who managed the regime's offshore finances, was also killed. The list continues. The defense minister, the intelligence minister, and the head of the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, IRGC, were all neutralized in the same window. To truly understand the gravity of this, we must explore the linguistic and cultural roots of the Iranian leadership structure. This is where history meets modern governance. The title Ayatollah literally translates to sign of God, signifying a high-ranking expert in Islamic studies. The supreme leader, or Rabbar, holds ultimate authority over the military and the judiciary. While the individual has fallen, we must analyze the institutional roots of the republic. Unlike many autocratic regimes that collapse when the strongman is removed, Iran's system was designed for continuity. They have highly detailed succession plans involving a council composed of the president, the judiciary chief, and a senior jurist. The question for history is, can the institution survive without the icon? The argument for institutional resilience is strong, but the sudden vacuum of the entire senior cabinet creates a variable that no succession plan can fully predict. Now, let's look at the Persian Gulf, where a critical strategic error has fundamentally changed regional politics. Historically, Gulf states like Saudi Arabia and the United Arab Emirates, UAE, have been the voices of de-escalation, primarily to protect global energy markets. However, Iranian retaliatory strikes took an unexpected and arguably disastrous turn. They bypassed oil fields and instead hit high-value civilian targets. In Bahrain, drones struck residential towers and the headquarters of the U.S. Navy's Fifth Fleet. In Dubai, intercepts occurred moments before impact near the iconic Burj Khalifa, while other civilian hotels sustained damage. Why target civilians? It appears to be a psychological play on the concept of security. By striking financial and tourism hubs like Dubai, Iran aimed to shatter the perception of the Gulf as a safe enclave. They hoped to induce what we might call a nervous breakdown in the markets to force Washington to retreat. However, the argument backfired. Instead of inducing panic-driven moving towards peace, these attacks acted as a catalyst for regional unity. Even Turkey has condemned the strikes. We are seeing a historic shift. Saudi Arabia may now allow its territory to be used for offensive operations, effectively ending decades of sideline diplomacy. You might ask, how does this impact my daily life? The answer lies in the Strait of Hormuz. This narrow waterway is the jugular vein of the global energy supply. While the strait is not physically mined, it is effectively closed. Insurance companies have begun canceling policies for vessels, and ship tracking data shows trade vessels simply stopping in place. If this closure persists, the impact on global markets will be immediate. We aren't just talking about the price of fuel at the pump. We are talking about the cost of consumer goods, the stability of retirement funds, and the very fabric of global trade. This is how a regional historical event dictates the economic stability of your household. While we analyze air superiority and geopolitics, we must remain professional journalists and acknowledge the human reality. Global media has confirmed a tragic strike on a school in southern Iran, resulting in the deaths of 148 people, most of them children. This highlights the agonizing difficulty of clean military operations in densely populated regions. Internally, the political impact is manifesting through protests. Footage has emerged from Tehran and Shiraz showing crowds celebrating the supreme leader's death. However, these movements are facing violent suppression from the remaining security forces who are desperate to maintain the status quo. We are witnessing more than a conflict. We are witnessing the potential dismantling of a decades-old regional order. The death of Khamenei marks the end of an era that began with the 1979 revolution. As your host, I argue that the coming days will determine if the Middle East moves toward a new security architecture or falls into a prolonged period of fractured governance. History is being written in real time. The impacts on politics, the global economy, and our daily lives have never been more apparent. Thank you for joining us for this in-depth historical analysis on the Chronicles reports. I am Chronicles. Stay informed, stay professional, and stay tuned as we continue to track the events that define our world. Don't forget to subscribe for more original, fact-based reporting. We will see you in the next report.